All right, so we're just going to talk briefly here. There is a microphone offered in the wedge aisle. If you guys have questions, please file up in an orderly fashion. We'll get to you guys in a minute. So let's just start off. How did you guys come up with UHF? Let's talk a little bit about the conception of this movie.
Oh, we thought it'd be fun to do a movie. And this is like, what, 1985, I guess, when we the first germ of the idea started. We wanted to come up with some kind of broad concept that would take advantage of our strengths, meaning basically like parodies of commercials and TV shows and movie trailers and things like that, and finding some kind of plot to hang it all on. So that was sort of how we started, yeah.
Yeah, and how we finished.
And it took a while to actually sell it. We started writing the movie in 1985, and we, like 8 months or so to maybe hash out the script. And then we tried selling it for several years, and we got turned down by virtually everybody in town. And then finally, Orion Pictures decided to take a shot.
You know, it's really funny. I don't think a lot of people necessarily know this, but the guy that produced this movie also produced, like, Das Boot.
Yes. Yes.
Well, these are two different guys, right? So
yeah, but
so they were co-producers, and one of them had produced Das Boot, and one of them had produced Rocky. And our line producer had line produced all of Francis Coppola's movies, including Godfather. So it's pretty amazing.
It's a pretty awesome memory, actually, I think. Yeah. So in putting this movie together, and by the way, we talked exhaustively about this movie earlier this year. There's an oral history on indieclub.com. I'm sure all of you have read it. But there's like 5 of you who haven't read it. One of the things that I found really interesting in talking about this was, I know that you guys zeroed in on certain people for certain roles. You had Michael Richards in mind in the beginning. But there were a lot of people who almost made it into UHF, and I thought we could talk a little bit about that. For example, the role of Terry.
Yeah, it wasn't always Victoria Jackson. Thank you.
She's not here, but
no, are you appreciate not in yeah, that was a very tough call. It was almost neck and neck with Jennifer Tilly. Jennifer Tilly almost was. And we auditioned a lot of people for that. Ellen DeGeneres auditioned for that role. And I've got a very bad VHS copy of her audition, which I sent to her once, and she was horrified by it. But yeah, it's amazing some of the people that came in and read some parts.
And also one of the roles that you almost went with other people was Bob, who David Bowe did an amazing job.
Right, yeah. Rick Overton, stand-up comedian who I liked a lot, he came very close. I think for whatever reason you decided that he was too tall for the role, because he was taller than me, and you didn't like that. Yeah.
It's true.
It is true. I don't think Jerry Seinfeld never came into audition, but the part was offered to him at one point.
Jerry Seinfeld, that's weird, right?
He had a TV show on in the 90s.
And then this is my favorite, one of my favorite stories, obviously, is the role of Philo. You had somebody in mind for that.
Yeah, that was originally written with Joel Hodgson in mind. He was going to be playing Philo. And before this PK, I was just a big fan of his from his stand-up comedy act. He was sort of he would come out in his very deadpan way and show all these cool, weird inventions. And I thought, well, that's Philo. And then he had some kind of excuse where he didn't want to be in show business that year, or he just didn't want to. I still don't think he knows exactly what happened there, but he just wasn't into doing the movie, so he had to go a different direction. And at one point, we offered it to Crispin Glover. And he read the script and he said he loved the movie. He says, but I don't want to do Philo, I want to be Crazy Ernie, the used car salesman. Well, that's not kind of the direction we were going to go with that. Are you sure you don't want to do Philo? And he said, no, it's Crazy Ernie or nothing. I said, oh, okay. And who else? Yeah, I guess that was it. So and then we auditioned. And Anthony Geary was one of the people that auditioned, and we saw his name on the casting list. We had a very creative casting director, Kathy Henderson, and we saw Anthony Geary, like, Luke, General Hospital? Yeah, I don't think so. And he came in and he was so funny. He had us rolling on the floor, just hilarious performance, and we cast him on the spot.
And this actually extends to, actually this is my favorite story. This actually extends to the Got Change guy. You actually had somebody weird audition for that.
Oh, you want to talk about that one?
Well, yeah, one of the people auditioning for that role was a hero of mine, and it was beyond belief that he came in, which is Ginger Baker. Ginger was right in the middle of, I guess, they'd broken up, and he was trying all kinds of things. I guess he had management that was trying to branch him out into other things. And next thing we know, Ginger Baker's walking in the room, auditioning for the role of Bum, right? It was really, I was flabbergasted. I still, it's very surreal for me to even think about it right now, that he came in to do that. And, obviously, the role went to a great guy, but that was pretty...
Vance Colby, we should point out, who played the Bum. He was the original Bozo the Clown, correct? The Pinto Colby?
That's right.
Yeah. He worked with Spike Jones back in the early days, so he's quite a history.
And you guys, this is one of the only movies I can think of, probably maybe the second most famous movie that actually filmed in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Lots of Tulsians characters. I say Tulsians, Tulsians. So yeah, why Tulsa, I guess?
Well, Greg Frederickson, the producer, had just shot The Outsiders in Tulsa. He was very familiar with it. So he was kind of inclined to shoot there anyway, but we found a really interesting opportunity. There was a shopping center there, which had recently, has it gone out of business, or it hadn't started up yet? It was empty though.
Yeah, it was.
It was empty, and it was available, and we were able to basically use that as our own movie studio. All the abandoned storefronts became movie sets. We were able to create the interiors of the TV stations there, and there was a hotel connected to the shopping center. So the cast and crew lived in the hotel, they worked next door. It became like a big hamster habit trail. We all just kind of lived in this complex. It was very convenient.
So let's talk just a moment about 1989. This movie came out in the summer. A few other movies came out that summer.
Now, I like to, but I can't entirely blame the initial failure of UHF on the competition, but it was a very competitive summer. It came out up against Batman, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Lethal Weapon 2, Do the Right Thing.
You are the key Taylor Swift.
Sorry?
Something about Taylor Swift.
Okay, yes, Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift came out.
Oh, 1989, yes, very good.
Very astute, sir.
I blame it on Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is responsible for the downfall of
I know.
But obviously, it accrued a fan base. There's a huge sold-out theater here, right?
Actually, I think this is about as many people who saw the movie opening weekend, right? Thank you very much.
The movie has a 25th anniversary reissue. It came out on Blu-ray this year. It's about to come out on standard definition DVD. In case you don't want to see that much.
No, it's too much digital information on Blu-ray, too much.
So, I'm sure, every minorly successful movie, I'm sure Pitch Perfect 3 got greenlit while we were sitting on stage right now. Even the movies that have the most minor success. So I'm sure you've been approached about doing some kind of follow-up to this.
Well, there's certainly been a lot of interest with fans. I have to say that I haven't had any major motion picture studios begging me to do a sequel to a 25-year-old box office bomb. But certainly I hear that every day from fans, but either do UHF too. I really appreciate the support and the interest. I'd love to do another movie, but I think probably something that's different that would have the same kind of comedic sensibility, hopefully. But it's just one of those kind of things. UHF 2, it's a nice, it looks good on paper, it's good in theory, but it would be hard, I think, to pull it off. And also, I don't think there's any way to do it where it wouldn't be a disappointment to a lot of people, because there's a lot of nostalgia and a lot of good feelings about the original movie, and I think it would be a better decision to just move on and do something different. Yeah.